why are we doing a seminar for people that are trying to grow their business? Well, there's a lot of reasons. One, there's a lot of fear out there as to how am I going to survive in tough economic times. I think we're all there. And I think the other agenda is no matter how great the stimulus package that'll come to us, the question is, what are you going to do to get business in the door in 2009? What else are you going to do to pull that business in? And I think there's a lot of people out there that are asking the same questions. There was a time when Bush was president that he made the comment that 95% of all businesses in America are small businesses. And that is the backbone of the economy. That's truly what that drives the economy. What I found from the classes that I taught at the community college to owners similar to yours and potential owners is that people want answers and they want them now, and it's, wait a minute. So I think the real question you've got to ask yourself, just so you get a sense of numbers, we had over 137 people registered for the seminar, but you know Murphy's Law, you know things will happen, so we just said, let everybody in, we'll give them as much data as we can, and hopefully we're going to help them to go forward. Going back to the Obama thing, he's right. We have to help the economy, but the economy begins with you. And it begins with what's going to make your business go or your new business go or your potential business go. And after teaching for 2 years, I've listened to hundreds of business owners tell me that we can't figure it out. We're trying to figure out what are we doing. I'll give you some quick stories and then we'll get into agenda. And we'll talk a little bit. The quick stories are I had somebody that had built several subdivisions and was seriously thinking of shutting down his business, and he was very, very successful, but people just weren't buying in a tough economy. They just weren't buying. And he was there in a college class trying to figure out what have I missed? What answer do I not have today to grow my business? In another situation, a person wanted to start a cabbage soup diet business. And the obstacles were formidable. What do I do? What's the next choice? What's the next thing that I do to make the business grow? And again, about a year ago, I was recovering from cancer. I'm a cancer survivor, and I'm fine, and I beat it. And that's the good news when you hear that somebody's beat it. And my emotions were really caught up. I was wrapping up. Hi. I was caught up in a book I was writing called Business Boot Camp for Women. My wife's telling me take the 4 women out because it applies to men also, you know. But I do have a book out there, and you don't have to buy it today, but I want you to know it exists, called Business Boot Camp for Women. It was my doctoral thesis on my PhD on 9 college courses I taught on how to help business people become more successful. So with the cathartic moment of the cancer and everything else going on, I made a decision that I was going to help the business community, and I was going to go forward in trying to give seminars into the community to help people overcome the obstacles that over 200 businesses have told me over 2 years you can really overcome. Now, some people here are selling real estate. Some people have catering businesses. Some people here are starting new businesses. Some are not-for-profits. Some people here have individual sole proprietor businesses. I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces, so if I do that, I'm seeing them walk in. Bear with me. So what I thought I would do today is, this is one of a series. We're going to do another one May 12th, and we're going to even expand the version, is this seminar costs you nothing. We'll give you our commercial at the end, and if you want to do something beyond this, that's fine. But the real agenda is, what are the things you can think of to sell harder, to sell faster, to be more successful, to get more things happening for you to make your business grow. This is a challenging event. This is an event that I'm trying to help you think of things that you may not have already thought when you got up out of bed this morning about how you can grow your business going forward. I'm known as Dr. Stan, the business doctor. I'm on daily, 4:58 p.m. They slide me between 2 shows. I'm in and out before the anesthetic wears off. You can see who I am. You get some quick business tips on what I do and how I can help you. And we will play a couple of the TV segments for you today just so you can see what I do, how I'm trying to reach society in essence. So I think let me give you a sense of the agenda and we'll get into full steam here. The way the agenda works is I'm going to present a bunch of concepts to you today from about now till about 2:45. And I'm going to try to give you as many different variations of ways to think to grow your business. I'm going to challenge you with some concepts that I'd like to introduce you to now of different ways people are going out of the box to grow their businesses. I have a video that will be offered as a promo later in the day here with 50 of my business bootcamp tips, which are not all embedded in this presentation today, 10 of my TV shows. But I'll let you see some of the shows. They're really tiny shows, but I think you'll find there's a lot of points in there too you'll gain from. So that being said, let me figure out how to do this and we'll be good. How many, I just want to see a show of hands, how many people are familiar with SWOT analysis? Okay, there's a good show of hands. When people hire me as a consultant to come in and start a business or to grow a business, one of the very first things that or my classes that I teach at the community college, one of the very first things that I do is talk about SWOT analysis: strength, weakness, opportunity, threat. What I find why people fail in business is they don't have a good perception of what their business is, why they're strong, why they're weak, what the opportunities are, and what the threats are. What do I mean by all that? If you can articulate this, this is the foundation of a business plan. It's the foundation of a marketing strategy. It's the foundation of why you become successful. This is a typical one off the web, but it's an interesting scenario, and I want you to think about this as you do your different things to develop a business. So when I do marketing, and I'm doing marketing consulting, I help businesses put together a SWOT analysis, all right? And a SWOT analysis is basically looking at yourself and deciding how you articulate your existence and your potential for success. I ask people in my college classes, Antoine's in the back there, and I'm picking on him again. He's one of my classes. He's building businesses. He's in real estate. He's got some very clever ideas. I'm not going to tell you any of them because they belong to him. But I'm asking all my students who are business owners to come back in and articulate why you are what you are. What are you that makes you successful, or do you think you can be successful? Here's a case in point where you have somebody that says, I have a great reputation. I'm strong because I have loyal customers and I'm a market leader, whatever that product is. There's an opportunity for that person. I'm just going through this with you for a moment. I want to expand to a new, larger location. I had a lady who had a dance studio that wanted to go to a bigger dance studio, and she felt she could capture more business by going to a larger location. I want to buy local competitor. I want to buy local competitors to increase revenues, and sell business and start a new career. Well, that's interesting for a SWOT analysis. You want to go somewhere else based on where you're strong here. This person says, look, I'm a small business. I'm weak. I do under $200,000 a year. My profit margins are too low. I'm losing too many employees. And they're saying my threat is low-cost suppliers are opening up. Employers are starting to own the company. They're starting their own company, economic slowdown. In order for you to become successful in what you do, you have to articulate what you do and why you're strong. If you can do that, then you can, whether you're not-for-profit, I've got a lady at an organization that was not-for-profit, trying to figure out how they got the message out to the community. It was about crime and how they work with crime victims. And the question was, they said, we got the greatest solution here, but nobody knows about us, all right? And we have to somehow figure out how we articulate what we do in the market. So one of the things that I really challenge you and encourage you to do is think very seriously about a SWOT analysis, doing something that helps you to pull together your business, and what this becomes is part of your business plan. I walk people into banks to get loans. I help people write plans to get loans. I'm successful at that. I work with the banks, I understand the banks, and I understand what they're saying to me, that in order to give a dollar out, you have to convince them, A, why you are passionate, why you believe you can succeed, and why you are going to do well. In order to understand the market, you have to understand the demographics of the market. Well, what do I mean, understand the demographics of the market? Anybody in this room can be successful if you know where the target is. If you can find the target, then you can succeed and you can hit the target. What I mean by that is if you think about business and you think about St. Louis and you look at it as 17 counties and you look at it as to what's out there, the first thing you should say to yourself is, what's obvious here on this chart? Anybody? Small. There's obviously more small than there is big, right? There's 2.8 million people population between the contiguous counties. If you're going to attack the market, there are databases out there to help you attack the market. And how you attack the market is you define your attack plan. Time for another story. Computer company, $1.5 million a year, 5 employees, doing high-powered computer consultant, keeps hiring salespeople, and the salespeople aren't working out. They bring me in as a consultant, and they said, do a sales attack plan. And a sales attack plan is a plan where I help people figure out what the target is and how you're going to get there. What do you think the most painful thing is in surviving in a tough economy? What's the most painful thing you got to do every day when you get up that you have no choice that you have to do? Go to work? No, that's good. Okay. I buy that one right away. Well, there's another one too. You have to sell. You have to sell. So I have people that come in. I had a lady come in that had a $15 million a year construction company, and she said to me, we're down to $5 million and we're going down. My husband died a few years ago. I'm trying to build the business. And we did a sales analysis of what she was doing. And what we determined is she used to be out there 10, 20, 30 times a week. She wasn't even out there 1 time a week. Her sales had gone down because she wasn't out there. We've proven the ratio is that for every 100 phone calls you make to sell for your business, you're going to get 20 potential people you can talk with. Most likely, you're eventually going to get down to about 5. And of the 5 that really want to see you, and by the way, that was after your 10th attempt, not your first attempt. Because we live in a world of voicemail, don't we? Right, that's what it is. It's very painful. And then after they go and they get, okay, I'm going to get to that very first attempt, you're going to probably sell 1 person out of 100. So when you're trying to sell, it's really tough. But if you're going to analyze your market and who you're going to go after, you have to have a high-powered database. The integrity of a high-powered database is critical. So if you look here at InfoUSA, Dun & Bradstreet, and Hart Hanks, those are sources that sell databases. And the intent of a database is to help you to define your market and your target. You say, well, isn't there some free databases and isn't there the Census Bureau? Yes, but the ones that are really scrubbed down so you can go find it, and then Court's agreeing with me and he knows you've had the experience. We've all had it. The scrubbed down databases where you pay hard money to go and go see something and go get somebody and go talk to somebody are very expensive. So they could be anything from $1 a record to 50 cents a record to 20 cents a record. But in order to be successful, you either have to buy the database or have somebody that's going to give you a database. It all begins with the integrity. Now, why do you think successful salespeople are successful? They have spent years cultivating databases. They have what they call the Golden Rolodex, okay? The Golden Rolodex. The Golden Rolodex says, I have a list of people. I'll give you a good example. I was in Seattle. I lived on an island for a year. I was hired by a company to make 5,000, actually 8,000 phone calls. That's a very painful project. I'd get up every morning. I'd go down to the water. I was on Gig Harbor near Tacoma, Washington. If anybody knows Tacoma, this is a beautiful place in the world. I'd go back to the house and I'd make phone calls. And at the end of a year, I'd made 8,000 phone calls. All right? How many people do you think I really talked to at the end of a year? And I was paid good money to do it, and I'll never do it again. But it was an interesting project. I talked to 5,000 people. And of the 5,000 people, 1,000 said, I want to know you better and transact. When I came back to St. Louis, I took that 1,000 name database. I went to work for another company that said, I need you for 1 year. We want to grow the company from $500,000 to $1 million. And we want to go out, and then we want to sell the company. And that's exactly what we did. I took my 1,000 name database. I had business at the White House, President Bush's phone. It was a phone business is what it was. And I was over there in USC, and I was at Coach, and I was West Point. I had 1,000 names, which I still own to this day. It's like what I call the Golden Rolodex. But I have a contact at 1,000 places, and within 12 months, I had grown the company from 500,000 to $1 million and got them sold and moved on to the next project. The whole idea was the integrity of the database. But it wasn't so much what people sold me. It was what the phone calls I made and the contacts I made and the people that I found that made it very profitable for me. So I've had the pain and I've done the deal. Okay. Here's something that I do on I did it on KMOX, and I really recommend you seriously think about this. I gave up on the Christmas card, holiday card deal a long time ago, and I made a conscious decision that I was going to start sending people business anniversary cards. I really recommend you give that some thought. It's a very clever way to get business done. People like to know that you know them and that you remember them and that you want to do business with them. And so every year, when the date you first started doing business, send them a business anniversary card. Say, hey, you know, I'm so happy we've been doing business for a year. I want to thank you for the business. The other point that we miss in marketing is appreciating the client we already have and maturing that business forward. So stop thinking of Christmas cards and all the other things, but if you are doing Christmas cards, don't give them up. I don't mean you should give them up. But think about anniversary cards. Think about other things like that that set you apart from the pack. In this day, in this economy, if you want to succeed, you're going to have to be sharper on your feet. You're going to be in guerrilla warfare. You're going to have to outdistance the competition. You're going to have to differentiate yourself. You're going to have to say things that other people don't say. You're going to have to look different. And that looking different is going to make you successful. It's going to make you very successful. I'm sure you can think of I give you story after story. A lot of people that how many, just want to see a show of hands, how many people are in small businesses? I just want to see. Oh, wow. Okay, so if everybody looks around, welcome to America. All right, here we are. I was in Durham, North Carolina. There was 100 people in the audience, and it was just like this. 95% were small business. One of the things that small businesses get burned on are payment of clients and those nasty invoices that we all have to send out. And one of the things that I did and I recommend in your business is get a merchant account. I like things like Practice Pay Solutions, and why I like them is it's not PayPal. It jumps right into your bank account. It moves from the transaction to the bank account, and that's how it works. One of the things that I did is I have a radio talk show. How many are familiar with Blog Talk Radio? Show of hands. Got a few hands? Okay. Did you know you can have your own free radio show? Have you ever had dreams of being famous in show business? Come on. You've all wanted to have that star quality, don't you? You're famous. You know, I have a show every Friday called The Business Doctor on Blog Talk Radio on the internet, and it's on from 9:30 to 9:45. Believe me, if you think you can talk more than 15 minutes straight without talkers and call-ins and guests, it's a tough road to do. That's why I have a 1-minute TV show, because I can get in and out really quickly. You can have your own radio show, and this is another freebie that you can do, is you can go to Blog Talk Radio, they'll sign you on, they'll give you a tutorial, they'll walk you through it, and then you can let your customers know, hey, I have a radio show. I've got information that if you want to know about me, if you want to know about good deals, if you want to hear about prominent speakers, go to Blog Talk Radio. Blog Talk Radio is free to you. You go on Blog Talk Radio, you sign up, you can reach 10 people or 1 million. Here's the key, it's internet radio. And internet radio is a lot different. When I went to KMOX, I think it's 11:20 a.m., and I wanted to be on radio, they took a liking to me, and I talked to the people there, and I actually did a demo tape over there, and it's on my YouTube, Dr. Stan Fine. You can find a quick sample of what it's like to have a 1.5 minute radio show. If you want to guess, I wanted to be on at 6:30 in the morning, one time a week, drive time, touching 30,000 people, one time a week, driving. And it takes 13 repetitions for somebody to jump in, by the way, and buy from you. It takes 13 times that you got to hear somebody on the radio. What do you think it costs for a 30 to 60 second spot, 6:30 a.m., KMOX, right between the Mark Reardon show and some of the other, or Charlie Reardon, whatever it's called? Wild guess. 300. Do I hear 5? No. But what were you going to say? What were you going to say? 13 weeks, but per week. Close. $500. $500. 30 seconds. Television is so desperate to get you on the air. So let's talk about television. Did you know that there are 2 types of television? Yes, of course you did. St. Louis Web TV is a new television network that you can actually produce a 30-minute talk show, but it is going to be a little costly, and you can be on every week, 24/7. I was going to do a talk show called Business Boot Camp for Women. I shot 14 episodes in 4 days, 30 minutes each, and we were going to put it on STL Web TV. And we didn't finish the project. We got the sponsor. TV is expensive, but we're talking here a 30-minute show. You can buy down into a cheaper model, but you can actually have a TV show. And people say, well, why would I want a TV show, and where's the money? It's market reach. We're in a social network. I'll talk about social networking in just a moment. So you could have an internet TV show. That means 24/7 exposure, back to back, all the time. If you really want to go there, that's the direction you can go if you want to market your business. I don't know, there's something magical when somebody says, hey, check out my TV show or check out my infomercial. There's something magical about it. You know, that somebody says, wow, they're on TV, aren't they great? And you're, wow, they're a star, they're famous, right? You know, nobody's ever seen you, and you come in at 2 in the morning, but it doesn't make a difference. It's a question of how do you want to market your business? That's the question. Okay, the buy time, for example, you can buy 30 minutes on Charter at 2 a.m. for $50 on Charter. Pick a channel, any channel. Have you seen this new thing with David Simon Garland, Rise to the Top? A couple people have seen that. Do you know how he did it? He and I, it's really clever what he did. Do you want to hear what he did? It was really cool. He doesn't pay for the TV show. I couldn't believe it. I said, David, how do you do this? He said, my guests pay for the show. If you want to be on my show, I bought the 6 of the cheapest hours I can find on television, and you pay $1,000 and you get 6 showings in 1 week for that $1,000, and you're a star on my show, right? And listen, this isn't a bad thing he did. It's very clever. If you want to be on longer, you pay more money. He went out, he went to Charter, and he went to My 46, and he went to all these other ones, and he bought time. Why do you think it's on at 1 a.m. in the morning or 2 a.m. in the morning? Cheaper, right? You can be famous at 2 in the morning. If I can't sleep, I would say, well, what am I going to do at 2 in the morning, right? If you want to be in multiple cities, if you're thinking, God, my budget isn't going to allow it, but I want to grow my business beyond where I'm at, this is an example of buy time from ABC Television, Acme TV. They own 4 TV stations. You're going to notice here, KWBQ Albuquerque, you can have a half-hour show for $2.75. And that 6:30 a.m. is not bad on a Sunday. And you can also simultaneously be running in Knoxville. You could be in Albuquerque for $200 at 6 a.m. and Knoxville on Sundays at 7 a.m. Did you know that companies like Blair TV, which is a good company, that sell TV time, that buy and sell it, get a 15% commission directly from the television network? You don't pay them anything. So if you said, I want to buy TV time and I want to put a few bucks out there and I want to grow my market, and you're thinking, how do I get beyond St. Louis? And now we're talking strategic marketing. You can buy your time across the country. It's very cool. Okay. So when I decided to do this seminar, let's talk about social networking for free, right? And how many use YouTube today? I got to see hands. It's the only way I can poll you. How many use Facebook, MySpace? Okay. Did you know you can be on YouTube for free? You can have your own, right? You can be on television, but if you want to do a seminar, now you're in a different animal. I want you to know that I produced this seminar. Look at all of you here, and I produced it for $0. Is it overwhelming, what I just said? I mean, $0. Okay. Well, the room costs something. You got to pay for the room. I use social networking. If you want to get the message out about your business and you want to do a seminar to let the public know, I spent over 80 hours emailing, staying up till 11 at night, sending emails to groups, promoting myself to different groups verbally and through email. And then I went to Yahoo Events. Yahoo Events instantly touches 30,000 people if you log yourself onto Yahoo Events, and it's free. STLcalendar.com. So let's say in your business you're trying to get the word out and you want to set yourself apart from the pack. Well, I've done seminars all over the country for years. I used to Inc. magazine. I've done seminars for General Dynamics when I was a director of marketing there, and I've done them coast to coast. Well, General Dynamics, I had an incredible budget, and I could do the biggest and the best of the best, and there was no limit. Well, times have changed. Yeah. I don't have an unlimited budget, and $0 is pretty good, you know. So what I did is I made a conscious decision that I was going to use organic growth to grow a seminar, which you can do in your business to grow your business. And what I did is I went out and I did a test seminar at a virtual office space that I rent from time to time, rented a conference room for $25 an hour for a couple hours, sent out to a few organizations, and 10 people showed up, 20 were invited. Next time I said, I'm going to heat it up a notch, I'm going to push a little bit harder. So then I got it out there on Yahoo. I went to all my college students that had come to my courses. I went out there and I started to attack the market. I went to eWomen, Ladies Who Launch. I went to the Rotary Club. I went to everywhere I could go and say, hey, I'm having a seminar. Next time it was 20 people and we had to turn 5 away, which my wife does not like to do. She does not like to turn people away at the door. And poor Cord over here and his lovely lady here were very gracious. So they had a seat of honor here today. So they were one of those that got turned away. And I don't feel good about that when we do that kind of stuff. And then on this one, I said, I'm going to commit 100 hours of my time. Every night I was up till 11. I was sending out emails, but I never went out and paid a single ad. I never went out to a single place and said, what does this cost for me to be in here? Because I figured I don't have the $5,000 to go promote a seminar, but I want the world to know I'm out there. People resonate with experts. If you've thought about a seminar, the first thing you got to do is decide what it is that's going to draw the people to you. I had a college course. I owned the college course. I took it out into the public, how to promote your business with little or no money. I put it out there, and I said to the world, hey, it's out here. As of this morning, people were calling me at 9 at night, registering 2 nights ago. 3 people called up. Tide Productions, is that here? There's another group that was called Tide In Productions. It's a production company. They called 9 at night and registered 3 people. Hope Build, is Hope Build here? Welcome. Okay. People called up till today. Here's a friend of mine, Daniel. Hey, Daniel. The point of this is if you're going to grow your business, if you're really serious about it, and you don't have a lot of money, then seminars are a powerful way. And if you have people that are knowledgeable that can be guest speakers, it incrementally adds to the credibility. So it all kind of adds together. Okay, I know you see this down here. It's called the $10,000 mistake. And I know you're just wondering, what is the $10,000 mistake? If you didn't ask, you were being polite, so I'll tell you. I was vice president of a long-distance telephone company in Chicago, a little tiny company called Connect America. And Connect America, we wanted to do a seminar in Chicago on long distance and all the wonderful, interesting subjects there about long distance dial tone and what's hot in technology. And my job was to produce a seminar. And I had a budget of $10,000. I hired a printing company in Wisconsin. I picked a suburb of Chicago in the heat of summer. I went out 4th class mail, which meant the post office doesn't even have to look at it for 4 weeks before they even decide they want to do something about it. And I invited everybody in the universe free I could. I said, please come to my seminar, right? At the end of the day, according to all market statistics, if you send out, which is 27,000 invitations, we should have got 125 people. We got 20. And we had to beg for those 20. Wrong geography, wrong part of the day, wrong location when I lived in Chicago, right? Everything was wrong. Nothing was right, And it was my first bruising ego experience I've ever had in my life where it tanked. I've never had a seminar tank, and it was humiliating and embarrassing. I vowed I would never do that again. So when you decide to do a seminar, forget the summer. Pick the half afternoon, make it on a day that they can get it to traffic before the traffic starts. Get some prominent speakers on the agenda. A lot of people will talk for free to get visibility, because this, to me, is organic marketing. That's what this is. Okay, we're barreling along here. If you tried to touch the same people that I touched, you'd have to make 1,000 phone calls to try to get just 50 people in a room. That's a lot of cold calls, a lot of calls to get people. So the question really is not what you do, but how hard do you want to work at it, and how little do you want to pay? If you think about the fact that I rented this room, we produced 100 copies, 150 copies, blew out a few ink cartridges, that's about it. And then I just started every day emailing somebody to say, do you know about this? I couldn't have, it would take me 6 months to get all of you into an appointment. So think about what it would take for you to get appointments. It's okay. All right, here's another trend in business that isn't real pricey, but I want to make you aware of it. You'll see Rachel Ray on the right and Victoria's Secrets on the left. So let me tell you the story about 2 of these. Rachel Ray is, who we're all familiar with in her 30-minute meals, or maybe you're not all familiar with her, put out a CD, a promotional CD, on about her shows and things you need to know. And that was promotional. This company here that you're looking at, I would suggest they are very, very reasonable. What you see on the left is a business card that Victoria's Secret would give people. It was for a charitable thing, charitable organization. Are you aware that you can put 5 minutes of video of you talking with a hyperlink back to your website on a DVD? How many use DVDs today? How many would like to use DVDs? Okay. Or how many would, if I said it's only $2 per DVD, would you be willing to at least think about it? Okay, it's a eatable number, isn't it? When I was with Avaya, which was AT&T, I was director of marketing of a division, and we were trying to recruit people. And so how we recruited people is we ordered 50,000 of these, and we took the potential prospects when we had a lot of money, and I was working for them back then, and it wasn't an issue of the economy, and we did an interview. And we did a 5-minute HR interview with a potential prospect and an HR person from Avaya saying, this is why we want you to join our organization. We thought if people could feel the experience of the actual visual, if you could actually see the experience, then you would resonate to the experience and you would click the hyperlink to request an interview. So you can go out there in the market, and another way that you can differentiate yourself are with DVDs. NicheStuff.com is one of many. There's a lot of great companies in St. Louis that do it also. Their cost is $500 minimum and $2 or $1 per DVD, and you can provide your own camcorder and your own video link, and they'll put it right in there, or they'll put classical music in there. But the point is, if you're handing somebody a card, which I want to get into here, I'll come back to cards. Let me jump over this for a minute. Flyers. I had a woman clothing company come to me because I'm a business coach, and what they said to me is, we want to touch the businesses in St. Louis in a certain demographic area with women's clothes. And one of the things we looked at is we said, okay, well, let's take a look at where the market is at. And we said, you are very close to Washington U. You're very close to St. Louis University. You're very close to some prominent colleges. Why don't we take flyers, get the college's permission, and put them in the cafeteria, and students that are looking for women's clothes can come to your spot, which wasn't geographically more than 5 to 7 minutes away, and come there and get clothes. And it did help the business. It increased the exposure. There wasn't a fortune spent. A lot of times you go into these coffee shops, and you see all these flyers. You can't afford to leave any stone unturned, right? Do you have a coffee shop? Okay, just curious. Because if you tell me, I'll come to it. That's why I wanted to know. Okay. Okay. So does it make sense? Yeah, okay. I mean, let's think about it. How many ways do you have to go knock on doors? And how many doors do you have to knock on to get into people's lives? If the flyers appear, guess what it is? What is it? It's organic growth, isn't it? Or viral growth, right? Have you done it? How many have used flyers in their business? Okay. Okay, you have the... Oh, yeah, I just saw that driving by.
There's some menus and cookies in the back for you.
Got some freebies back there from Lenny Slipshot. Now, is that clever or what? She comes to a seminar and she promotes Lenny Slipshot. You got to give her an atta girl. Come on.
It works.
It works. Whose cookies are those?
There's not 150, so.
All right. If you want a cookie, go. No, kidding. No, that works. See, but there's the power of advertising again. Okay. There is a psychology in trade shows and brochures that I'm going to share with you because I've done over 100 trade shows across the country for very, very large corporations. And we talked about the psychology of trade shows and brochures. There is a psychology that says the human mind and eye process over, you've heard this in probably before, over 60,000 transactions in a day, like that. The mind can dissect, isolate different thought processes and move to those psychologically. So when I studied people in psychology, I studied the human reaction to visual effect. And the human reaction says that if you catch my interest for 3 seconds, do you remember, let me go back for a second. Do you remember for a little point in time there was these little flash words on the TV screen? Remember they snuck around and did that for a while? It was kind of like subliminal brainwashing. Buy Coke, buy Pepsi, right? You know, go to Lenny's, right? Okay, well that's, and I'm just teasing you. You know I'm teasing you. All right. That subliminal thing that you got was flash advertising because they knew they could engage your mind in less than 3 seconds and you would react to it. When you're walking down a trade show, you're walking down a supermarket, you're trying to give somebody something, you got 3 seconds to catch their attention. If you get them for 3 seconds, then you get them for 30 more. The minute you engage the mind will stop and will look at more. All right. If you look at more, you will spend at least 3 minutes. All right. So I'm walking down a trade show. I'm in Miami, Florida. I've got a 10 by 10 booth, and I need to look different than everybody else. I told this story at another seminar, so if you heard it before, Ann says she's heard it, so just go with it. You heard the story. All right. So I'm in this long distance company, and I've got 1,200 buyers, and I've got 100 booths, and I said, what would make me different? So I called Hugh Hefner at the Playboy Mansion, and I really did. And I talked to Playboy Enterprises and said, I'm in Miami on South Beach. Do you have any Playboy Playmates of the Year, past, present, future, that we could use? And how much is it to have them at my booth doing photo ops? Most of my constituency at the trade show were males, all right? So I found that there were 3 past Playmates of the Year. You could have them in the booth. They would sign your picture. You can't touch them. You got a little, escort with them. But you can't say, oh, let's take this funny picture of me holding this stick. They don't do stuff like that. You have to do real proper. It is above board. $500 for 4 hours each one. Actually, no, $750, sorry. So I said, how am I going to get people to get a picture with a Playmate of the Year, a past Playmate of the Year, with more males than women in a trade show? And what I did is I got 3 poster boards, life size. So when you walked into the trade show, the very first thing you saw to the right were 3 6-foot pictures of Playmates of the Year, and a thing that said, come to booth 140 and get a picture with one of the Playboy Playmates of the Year. Do you know, I had a line around that booth. I mean, there were people just waiting to get pictures. I'm telling you, it really, really happened. Really. I came away with over 30, 40 hot leads from that show, and people with much bigger booths giving golf balls and stuff and things. And I came away and I knocked them dead. And it only cost me, well, plus the booth cost. But it wasn't the $10,000 failure. This one was a success. And it was incredible. So what I did is I played upon the market. I studied my constituency, who's out there, who would buy from me. If you're not deciding who your typical buyer is and you're not profiling your buyer, then you're not in business and you're marketing. You've got to profile your business. You have a psychological profile of who's the typical buyer, be it not-for-profit, be it Lenny's Sub Shop, be it Al's got an organization. Talk to Al later. He does great marketing. And Al in the back, raise your hand so they can see you. So at break, if you want, I embarrassing him, but you can see him later. He's got a great thing going too. So if you're trying to market your business, you got to think about what you do to set yourself apart from the pack. This is called strategic marketing. You got to do this. You have to think this way. You have to change the model. You have to break out all the rules and say I'm different. By the way, one of my college students, for Lenny's benefit, is there a real Lenny?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you Lenny?
No.
Oh, okay. If I have a celebrity, huh?
It would be good.
If you're a celebrity, I want to introduce you. Anyway, this guy said, I'm going to open a Subway shop. Right, Antoine? He's going to open a Subway shop, and he's going to manage, and the world's just going to come to him. Now, what's the rules? Doesn't work that way, does it? What if Quiznos goes across the street, and what if Emos goes on the other side of the street? What are you going to do? How are you going to get business? What is going to set you apart from the pack? You're going to have to do some flyers. You're going to have to do a TV show, a free radio show. You're going to have to knock on doors. You're going to have to do something to break you out of the pack. I work with a lot of clients, and we work on breaking them out of the pack and making you different. The key is, how are you different? You with me? Everybody tracking? Okay, what does that brochure say to you? I found that on the web. What emotion does that evoke in you when you see that brochure? Are you getting relaxed? Can you think of massage? Lavender psychologically has been proven to be a very relaxing additive to cancer patients. They now treat with oral types or smelling types of different ointments. They take the essence of lavender on cancer chemotherapy patients, and I bend over that I can. Okay, you got it. They'll put essence of lavender on the wrist and on the neck, and when they're doing chemo, it takes their relaxation level way down. It's incredible. You can affect people by olfactory senses, is what you can. What I'm saying to you is you can touch the senses in a lot of different ways. I don't have to push much harder. I know that's a massage. I can look at, you got me for 3 seconds. Now I'm going to read a little more, and if it's interpretable, I'm going to read for 30. But I got you in the first 3 because you saw the person touching a body and you saw a massage. So how you articulate your brochure will define how you do business. I think I'd like to just do something a little bit out of the box for you here. We were talking about the power of TV shows. So I'd like you to see the power of television. All right, let me set this up first. This is a TV show that I've done 10 of. It's on DVD, and it's called Business Bootcamp Tip of the Week, and I'm implanted. There's business tips in here that we're not saying you may want to write. But I'm going to show you 1 or 2 of these 1-minute shows to let you see the power of television and get a sense of this. Hi, this is Dr. Stan Fine, the Business Doctor, with your Business Bootcamp Tip of the Week. Let's talk about business promotion tips. Research market before committing to any promotion. What may be good for someone else may not work for you. Plan your promotions. Don't just throw them together. Advertising and hope for the best. Develop promotions which take advantage of seasonal and economic changes. What worked last year may not work today, and what works today may not work tomorrow. Evaluate your promotional programs periodically. Get rid of some of the less successful promotions and replace them with other programs you feel will produce better results. Follow the lead of the major corporations and distribute your promotional dollars between several different promotions. In small business, this usually means between 5 or 10 different promotions. Develop promotions which communicate to the prospect what you can do to help them with their need or want. Entice the prospects by offering a free estimate, special trial period, money-back guarantee, or buy one and get one free. And this is Dr. Stan Fine, the Business Doctor, with your tips of the week. There's good tips in here, so write them down, because some of them I'm not covering. Hi, this is Dr. Stan Fine, the Business Doctor, with your Business Bootcamp Tip of the Week. Let's talk about getting new business. Turn your ex-employer into your client. Your former employer already knows your capability and has a proven need for it. Sometimes you can negotiate to do a contractual basis what you've been doing full-time, or you can negotiate a contract to train your replacement. Subcontract or do overload. Your competitors can be an excellent source of business. Statistics have found that 11% to 21% of new businesses come from the competition. Work as a temporary in the field in which you will be doing business. Working for a temporary agency can provide invaluable experience and excellent contacts. At the same time, it provides a flexible source of income while building your business. Make an offer they can't refuse. Identify people who need your skills and make them a special offer they can't refuse. Be sure you cover all your costs and ask them to serve as a reference for you in the future. And this is Dr. Stan Fine, the Business Doctor, with your Business Bootcamp Tip of the Week. What reaction do you get when you see a TV? It becomes believable, right? It starts with, hey, I'm looking at this person, they're talking on TV, they must know somebody, or they're the son of the owner of the TV station, or they paid a lot of money to be on TV. These were very, very affordable TV shows. They were in the $100 to $200 mark, and I got full TV studio, full teleprompter. So the question you got to ask yourself is, when you're trying to be different in the market, how are you going to set yourself apart from the pack? What are you going to do? Maybe you don't want to do a TV show. You can put it on YouTube for free if you get involved and register on YouTube. But the reality is you can be as powerful as you want to be and as visible as you want to be based on social networking. This is social networking when I do a seminar like this. But when I do a TV show, it's organic networking. And organic networking means I'm telling you the world, I'm out there, and I'm believable. And the byproduct of this is I'm on every day, 4:59 p.m., Channel 10, SDL TV, Monday to Friday, and so I'm always giving a new tip of the week, one tip for 5 shows, then I go the next week. If you're trying to set yourself apart, you got to do something that makes you believable. Either you become the expert in your field, or you become somebody that advertises in the field, or you let people know that you're different. And TV shows is a way to do it, and they're not a fortune. TV producers, when Channel 2 and Channel 11 just recently merged, I had Channel 11 call me and said, we'll sell you 15-second spots, we'll sell you 30-second spots, we'll make you a deal you can't refuse. They were begging me to buy TV time. The point is the market is so needful right now that everybody's fighting for business. I mean, you heard the thing about Chrysler and about the 1,200 people and all that, and that's really sad, and I hope it doesn't happen, but the economy is very scary. So you got to break yourself out of the pack. All right, let's talk about using business cards. The most abused thing out there now are business cards. We think, oh, it's just I got to leave behind, I got to tell you who I am, and when you get the business card, you'll know who I am, and therefore you get it and you see me and you remember me, or I hand it to you and you put it in your pocket right away. The business card can be a signature identity for you. It can be a different thing. It can be as different as you want it. One doctor that was a dentist used dental floss built into his business card because he wanted to be a differentiator, right? And you're not going to forget that business card, right? Another person handed out chocolate business cards. Now that's good news and bad news, right? The good news is it's a business card. The bad news is it's not going to be there very long because it's made out of chocolate. And it was good chocolate too, by the way. All right. Okay, you don't leave your home without your card. Your card becomes the extension of your hand. It's your lifeline. You've got to let the world know you're out there. There is a thing, in one of my seminars I taught proper business card etiquette, and I won't embarrass anybody today, but there is a responsible way to hand out a business card. And what I mean by that is if you've watched the Japanese do what they call their business card ceremonies, is you take the business card and you put it out there, and a person gets your card and they receive it. They should acknowledge it, they should identify it, they should identify your company, they should identify who you are, they should identify, it's Court Schneider. Court, right? Did I get it right, Court? All right, so Court gives me a business card. Thanks, Court. And I look at his business card. You want to come up for a second? Okay, all right. Hey, I'm sweating bullets up here. You don't want to come out with me? It's hot up here. No, I'm kidding. Okay, all right, I'm looking at Court. Court's got a great picture of him. I would identify Court and say, Court, Court Schneider Real Estate, wow. Are you ready to make a smart move? What a clever logo, right? Oh my gosh, look at all this neat stuff in the back. You got a direct line and you sell houses really fast. He tries to give you a lot of data. My responsibility to Court is to honor that card. That card just didn't happen. He thought about what he wanted on that card. That was his message to you. That was his value proposition of why he has something that sets him apart from the pack. And not-for-profits, I know you have the same agenda. Is your organization not-for-profit? Is it? Home built, right? Which one?
Yeah.
What is it? Not-profit. Okay. What's the greatest challenge you get in a business card when you give it to somebody? Do you have to say what it is first or hand it and they look at it?
Yeah, we kind of have to say what it is because many people don't know what Hope Build is, basically based on the name as well. I mean, it's an urban gardening program. So.
Okay. Isn't that cool? Okay, if you take the time to communicate with the person, you may have a business opportunity. We have kind of gotten away from the personalization of business cards. May I keep this card? Okay, thanks. All right, use proper etiquette, be generous. Give cards out everywhere, all the time, to everybody. Don't be embarrassed. You're not offending anyone. I give them to the waiter when I go to a restaurant. You know, I give them to whoever I meet anytime. Hey, it's nice to meet you. Gee, I'll buy something. Here's my card. And a lot of times people really, really want, and it's hard, isn't it? Because it pushes us out of the emotional box. Do you get embarrassed when you do that? Oh, yeah. Okay, but, you know, tell me, I'm not trying to embarrass you, but I'm really curious. No, I'm not. Help me understand, okay, because I struggle with it too. What is the thing that embarrasses you about cards, roughly? Now, speak of the mic.
I feel like I'm pushing myself on someone.
Okay. All right, I won't go any further than that. Okay. I won't, because that's a fair statement, right? All right, I want to do Lenny's. You brought me cookies today. How do you feel when you give out a business card? She's holding the card too.
I have no problem doing it, but
It's soul food. It's good.
I mean, the only way for me to market is to get my food in people's mouths. So here's free sub.
Tell me to try us out.
You can try it out? Okay, I'm not trying to show the mic. You're kind of holding on to your card. I want to know what you're thinking. What are you thinking?
I was just taking another look at them and comparing them.
Could I see your card?
Sure.
Oh, what a pretty card. LIV Communications.
LJV.
Oh, let's say LG.
Yeah, they kind of put them close together.
They put them too close together. I get it now.
Did that.
Innovate, create, generate. This is Lisa, by the way, if you want to know Lisa. Hi, Lisa. I have your card. Okay. I'm going to wait. I'm going to surprise all of you here. You think I'm going to stand up there and get all stressed out here? Why do you use business cards?
I've ordered them. They're coming in today or tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm very excited.
we-
It's been a long time developing
The logo.
What do you do?
I do market consulting work with people who market to teens and kids.
Oh, how cool. Okay. I can't wait to see your. Good. Okay. Thank you. What do you do? I'm just curious.
Cardiopulmonary neuromuscular therapy.
Wow. If anybody needs help, I am so glad he is here. I'll tell you right now. I'm sneaking around here, sorry. Okay, here's my friend Chris Sater. He does computer stuff. Chris, why do you give business cards?
I'm sorry?
Why do you give business cards?
Just a easy opportunity for marketing.
Do you feel like I'm making you stressed out because I'm walking around the room like this? Don't be embarrassed. No, I'm trying to show you that you're so important that you have to do this. Sir, why do you give business cards?
Get my name out, make the connection, maybe have a chance for follow-up.
Okay, make the connection. Okay, my shopping genie. Oh, I remember you called. Okay.
Yes, I did.
Why do you give business cards?
So that I can help others with promoting their business. That's what the shopping genie does.
I like that. Hey, this is the shopping genie. See you at break. Okay, Lainey, how you doing? Okay, tell me why. This is Lainey Neiman. She's a PhD like me. Haha. Okay, and she does special things too. And she's looking for some new opportunities. So why do you do it?
Why do I give out business cards?
Mhm.
Because it's my brand, and
Excuse me.
I want people to know that I'm a business coach, a career coach, and a life coach. And I think my people usually like the way my card looks.
I like the yellow.
Yeah. So it's
Yellow's
kind
cool.
of cheerful, and it's got building blocks on it.
Okay. May I have it? I like it. I already have one of hers. Okay. Are you getting a sense of this? Everybody has something? Oh, she wants to show me something. Okay, let's go. I'm going to get back to you. I just want to know. We'll do this. Red Door, and she's from Washington, Missouri.
St. Louis, Missouri.
St. Louis, Missouri. I'm sorry. Okay.
Well, we want the people to know what kind of service we're offering so we can help them.
Okay.
And it's really cool because it's magnetic, so it's in their face every day.
Okay. Red Door ladies. Okay. I got another card. Okay. What do you do? The Smash Ups. I heard about you.
Well, we recycle bottle glass, so when someone says, hey, that's a lovely necklace you have on, I want them to know it's more than just a lovely necklace. This is from a Bailey's bottle.
That's beautiful. Did you see that? It's gorgeous. Can we stand up and just show it to him for a minute? This is beautiful. Have you seen it? Look how pretty it is.
She just was on KMO BTV last Wednesday, too.
Isn't that cool? And it's recycled. Go green. Yay. Wait, I'm almost done. I promised her.
I wanted to make a comment because we have a small marketing business. We don't give business cards, we exchange business cards. And when we started 14 years ago, there's a particular author, Bob Berg, Endless Referrals, and he taught us one simple thing. What you do, and that's why there's nothing on the back of our card, is when you exchange a card, you do learn about each other, but what you have, the second part is you have a little postcard similar to your business card. You have it pre-printed blank, and you go to a meeting like this, you meet somebody,
Mm-hmm.
in your car, you write a note. It was so nice meeting you. I was so glad, Dr. Fine, I'm so glad that I learned something that I can share, and I'm going to get the word out about you. And you have it the stamp with you, and by the time they get to their desk the next day, you've basically said, I'm going to give a referral to you. Always give, never take. Always give,
Right.
give. And it came back to us. I mean, we've been in business 14 years.
Wow. May I have it? Thank you. By the way, there's a fishbowl out there, and there's going to be a drawing, and whoever gets it gets a 3-hour consulting package with me and a copy of my DVD from my TV show, which is 50 Business Tips, and an electronic version of my book, Dr. Stan the Business Doctor. So be sure at break you put things in the fishbowl up front. Okay? Yes, sir.
Yes. Here's my business card.
Okay.
Lastly, I agree with her totally. It's always you should give more. And in the process of that, never feel like you're
intruding on anyone because you're just doing business and an aspect and always try to receive one. And on the back of our cards,
Can we hold that for a second?
Yes, we put a seal on it. As soon as you fill it, it kind of shows that we've been in business 10 years.
10 years, can you
And
see it?
It's embossed printing. So you'll automatically fill it as soon as you get the card.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, kindly.
All right, let me go on to the content or we'll run out of time. I know you got cards. I would love to hear every one of your card stories because I think they're cool. Here's another thing I want to add on the bottom of this. Brand yourself with a slogan. I am Dr. Stan, the business doctor. That is my moniker. That's who I am. That's how I've decided to articulate who I am. That's why I have a TV show. That's why I have a radio show, The Business Doctor. That's why I'm going out there and I'm in blogs all over the country, because that's how you do it. That's how you grow your business, is you become an identity to the market and you cut yourself apart from the pack. One of the things you have to ask yourself when you leave here today is, what makes me different? When I walk out that door and I tell people about me, what value proposition did I take that made me different? Very important. Okay, common mistakes that people make. They're not marketing to a defined group. I'm going to encourage you to do focus groups. Let me tell you very quickly, because of time will be running out. A focus group is where you bring 10 people together and you get 10 opinions about what you're doing. They look at your brochures, they look at your business ideas, and they give you market intelligence. The big marketing companies, when you go out and you get an MBA in marketing and you get intelligence on market positioning, what you do is you have focus groups. And I've been invited to those focus groups, and they pay $100 for an hour, and you sit there and you click little buttons while you look at commercials and things. Some do it for less. But I would really recommend that if your business is growing and you want to grow it, and I've had, like I said, hundreds of people come to me, then you need to have a focus group. Bring people in of all diverse, customers, non-customers, people on the street that you think would be potential buyers. Buy them a dinner, buy dinner, have it in a meeting room, have a focus group. The big guns, Pepsi, Coke, General Motors, we hope General Motors, we're keeping our fingers crossed. All right, they all have focus groups. One of the things clients bring me in to do sometimes is conduct these focus groups. And I would recommend you start researching it, email me or people about it. Not focusing on repeat business. One of the things I've seen from people in business from the $0 to $3 million mark is they don't repetitively keep going back to the same customers. A lot of times, 80% of the business of a lot of my students and clients is the same customer clientele. They keep going back. Starting too late. It isn't like you woke up this morning and said, I think I'm going to do marketing today, right? What you got to do is start in sync with a campaign. If you're going to have your salespeople knock on doors, if you're going to put a news ad out there, if you're going to start beating a path into the community, your marketing campaign is synchronized with everything else. It's got to be synchronized. It's all got to have the same time. Not having a clear marketing message. There are people that are out there, they're spending a lot of money that you don't know what they do. You get the commercial, and at the end of the commercial you say, what is it exactly they did? I didn't quite get it. And it happens to all of us all the time. Going overboard. Just because you have a nicer, I had a person at a radio talk show, another story, and the person in the radio talk show was getting let go. And they wanted to get hired by another radio station. So we talked about this in great depth, and I said, what is the greatest thing you do for a radio talk show? And this person told me, I give great interviews, and I inspire people, and I'm a cancer survivor, and blah, 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 and all this stuff. What I recommended is that we put a MP3 player with their 5 best shows in 1-minute snippets in a red velvet box, and in the red velvet box, when you flip it open at the radio station you want to be hired by, all it says is, play me, to hear the best radio show you've ever heard. I created a bias reaction. There wasn't a second step. You went right in, you got instant information, and you heard my 5 best shows. That person got another radio show. That's what you do, is you engage the person you're trying to sell with a clever idea or a clever, let's say, a call to action. Every salesperson is trying to create a call. Everyone here is trying to create a call to action. That's why you're here. What can you do tomorrow to create a call to action to add business to your business? That's the way it works. I'm going to jump beyond that. Let me tell you some things that a $100 million advertising agency told me that I never thought of. Duh. Okay, red envelopes are the most powerful envelopes in the marketing world. I didn't know that. They're good. They're powerful. Longhand on a red envelope with a longhand address always gets beyond the secretary of the CEO or the gatekeeper because it's the psychology of red and the personal writing, because they think it's a wedding invitation and they're not going to open it up. Okay, all right. Don't tell anybody I told you that, though. It's just our secret of 100 people here. Okay, so longhand, don't put your company, don't look at be printed. If you really want to get somebody's attention, a red envelope will really get their attention. There are two reasons why a person reads your letter. If you're going to write some sales letters tomorrow, I want you to really think about this. It's called selling to veto, very important top officers, selling to people. Two reasons they're going to read it. The first sentence and the PS. The first sentence, if I own a company and you're asking for donations or whatever, you're going to read it if I tell you exactly what I'm about. If I say in my first sentence, I am not a salesman, and then spend the next 3 paragraphs selling you, where do you think that letter is going to go? We call it the read and toss mentality, right? You get it. The second most empowered place on a letter is the PS. The PS. PS, I'm calling you tomorrow at 3 p.m. to see if we can get together. PS, I'm going to drop by in 3 days to see at 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. Tell your secretary to give me the best time. That's a call to action, and people will go from here down to here. That's where they go every time. It's really powerful. Have a hook. 14 things that go wrong in your company and one sure way to prevent them. An envelope teaser for mailing that sold a manual on internal auditing procedures. A special invitation to the hero of American business from a subscription letter for Inc. magazine. Can 193,750 millionaires be wrong? An envelope teaser for a subscription mailing for Financial World magazine. Dear friend, I'm fed up with the legal system. I want to change it. I think you do too. The lead paragraph of a fundraising letter. But think about it. The first letter, the first hook that you give people is the psychological hook that makes people want to do business with you. It's about you and them and engaging them to want to go forward. Oh, I want to tell you one quick story. I sold jet planes to millionaires, and these are the jet planes I sold called the Vision Air. And they were $1.5 million, which, by the way, for a 6-seater jet with a head or a bathroom and a 2 flyby wheel is a pretty good deal. And I was brought in the 11th hour when the company had a flaw in the design of the jet airplane. And my job was to introduce millionaires to this plane. And they'd had 150 orders, and they'd lost 100 orders because they couldn't correct the problem and would not correct the problem until they finally just went under. And I brought in about 5 millionaires who didn't break a sweat at putting $100,000 down on a $1.2 million investment. Why they didn't succeed is because when there was a problem, they didn't fix it. And people are too smart for that. There was a yaw problem for you pilots where the thing was like going to the right, and it couldn't be corrected without slowing the airspeed or slowing the altitude. And they promised a higher plane and a faster plane, and they couldn't deliver. And it was called Vision Air, and they went out of business. And they went from 150 employees to Zippo. Okay, so if you promise somebody something, you got to deliver it.